Rain tapped the pavement like tiny knocks on a locked door. Everyone in the city knew the old beggar who sat outside the metro station. Sam torn coats, same cardboard sign. Anything helps. People dropped coins without looking. Some looked without dropping coins. Most walked past like he was part of the wall. One evening, a young woman in a neat blazer stopped, not to give money, just to read the sign. She crouched slightly and said, "May I change one word?" The beggar frowned. "A word won't change my stomach." She smiled gently. "It might change your world." Before he could argue, she flipped his cardboard over and wrote something new with a marker. Then she placed it back in his hands and walked away into the crowd. The beggar stared at the sign, annoyed. It now read, "I'm not asking for pity. I'm asking for a chance." He scoffed. Chance? People don't hand out chances. But the next morning felt different. A man in a construction helmet slowed down, read the sign, and paused longer than usual. Instead of a coin, he asked, "Can you lift light things?" The beggar hesitated. I can try." The man nodded. "My crew needs someone to watch tools and sort nails. It's not much, but it's honest." The beggar blinked. No one had asked him a question like that in years. He almost said no almost. The old voice in his head whispered, "Asterisk, you'll fail. You'll embarrass yourself. You don't belong." Asterisk, but another thought pushed back, quieter but stronger. "It's a chance." So he nodded. "I'll do it." That day, his hands shook as he worked. Not from weakness, from fear. He dropped a box of screws and apologized too many times. The construction man shrugged. "Pick them up. Learn. Tomorrow's easier." Tomorrow wasn't easier, but he showed up anyway. After a week, he stood straighter. After a month, he spoke more. After 3 months, he stopped calling himself a beggar in his mind. He was simply a man learning again. One afternoon, the young woman in the blazer walked past the station. The old spot was empty, and for a second she wondered if her one word had meant nothing after all. Then she heard a familiar voice behind her. "Hey!" She turned. The beggar looked different, not because he was suddenly rich, but because his eyes were no longer asking the world to forgive him for existing. He held the same cardboard sign, but it wasn't for money anymore. It was clean, folded, and under his arm, like a reminder. "I never got to thank you," he said. She tilted her head. "I only changed a sentence." He shook his head. "No. You changed what I was telling myself." He looked toward the station where crowds rushed like rivers. "When my sin said anything helps, I felt like a broken cup waiting for drops. But when it said a chance, I started looking for one. And when I started looking, I started seeing." The woman nodded. "So what happened?" He smiled, small and real. "I'm working. Not a miracle job. Just work. I rent a tiny room. I eat every day. And yesterday my boss asked me to train a new guy." He paused, then added softly, "I used to beg for coins. Now I'm building something slowly." The young woman's eyes. "I'm glad." As she turned to leave, he called after her, "Wait." He held out the cardboard sign. On the back, he had written his own words. If you want a different life, start with a different sentence in your head. And the city kept moving fast, loud, endless. But for one man, everything had changed, because he stopped asking for anything and started asking for a chance. Moral: your mindset doesn't magically fix life, but it changes what you notice, what you try, and what you become.